Now, thinking about the poem, find in the first stanza three things that cannot happen in a treeless forest: no birds, no insects, or sun's shadow. That means the three things that cannot happen in a treeless forest are the sitting of birds on the trees, the hiding of insects, and the sun burying its feet in the shadow of the forest. What picture do these words create in your mind? Sun bury its feet in shadow. What could the poet mean by the sun's feet? The sun's feet here refers to the rays of the sun that fall on the earth. When there is no shadow on the ground because there are no trees, the rays fall directly on the ground. In a forest with trees, the shadow hides the sun rays, and it seems that the sun is burying its feet in the shadow that fall from the trees. Where are the trees in the poem? What do their roots, their leaves, and their twigs do? Now, in this poem, the trees are trapped in the poet's house. Their roots work all the night to disengage themselves from the cracks in the veranda floor. The leaves try very hard to move towards the glass and put a lot of pressure on it so that it breaks, while the small twigs, they get stiff with exertion. What does the poet compare their branches to? The poet compares the branches to the newly discharged patients from the hospital. The large branches of the tree, they become bent, cramped due to the roof above them, and when they get free, they rush stumblingly to the world outside. Similarly, the patients who have been discharged from the hospital are in a great hurry to get back to their homes. How does the poet describe the moon at the beginning of the third stanza and at its end? At the beginning of the third stanza, the poet says that the full moon is shining in the open sky in the fresh night. At the end of the stanza, she describes that the moon breaks in two pieces like a broken mirror and shines on the heads of the tallest oak trees. Now, as the trees move outside, they cover some of the shine of the moon, and it can be seen only in parts. That is why it seems that the moon has been broken into pieces. What happens to the house when the trees move out of it? The simple answer is the house becomes silent. When the trees move out of the house, the glasses break, and the whispers of the tree, which could be heard earlier, they vanish, leaving the house silent. Why do you think the poet does not mention the departure of the forest from the house in her letters? Could it be that we are often silent about important happenings that are so unexpected that they embarrass us? Think about this again when you answer the next set of questions. See, children, the poet hardly mentions about the departure of the forest from the house in her letters because it is the humans who did not care for nature in the first place. The human beings have destroyed the nature. So maybe the poet now thinks that nobody would be interested in knowing about the efforts that the trees are making in order to set themselves free. If men had cared about the trees, they would not have destroyed them. It seems that this whole beauty of trees moving back to forests can be seen and felt only by the poet. The poet wants to tell us that a thing of beauty is a joy forever. Now, some thoughts. The trees in this poem stretch out their branches, break barriers, and struggle hard to move out in the open in their natural environment. Analyze the efforts that one puts in to break away captivity and strive for freedom. Now, what is captivity? When you are bound, you are put inside. Strive means longingness for freedom. For anyone, freedom is very, very important. It's important than any kind of comfort, growth, or development. Even if we have everything and we are not free, we cannot be happy. Freedom is the most important and wanted thing in this world. As you have been reading in your previous classes, the stories about Chandani, the goat. In spite of having all the comforts, she left Abu Khan and went into the open to enjoy the freedom. Even when the bird is free, it's very happy. Its joy knows no bounds. And even those who are having the basic amenities, they are happy because they are free. Just like the trees in the poem, freedom is gained after a lot of effort. For example, the freedom movements of countries all around the world where people give up their lives to get freedom. Now, another question for you to do is, a conflict between man and nature is going on. In this civilization pursuit, men are disregarding the natural growth of plants and trees. In total confinement, nature also rebels against civilization and becomes destructive, elaborate. So you have to write about that man is spoiling the environment, cutting the trees, and the nature also rebels. There are natural disasters. How? You have to describe this, the conflict between man and nature, and how the nature also rebels against civilization. Thank you very much.